Genius Kids. Cultivating love for learning.
Chapter 2: The King's Palace. Aunt Tiru was a very clever girl, wasn't she, Grandpa? Asked Kusmi. Of course she was cleverer than you. Kusmi stopped short. She sighed a little and said, so that's why she managed to cast a spell on you. You are wrong. What makes you think that a person must be clever in order to charm people? What then? You need to be silly, that's all. There's a simpleton deep inside everyone. You must try to charm people by being truly silly. Tell me how it's done. I have no idea. I was only going to tell you what happens when someone is put under that kind of spell. All right, carry on. I have always had a great weakness, you see. Every little thing fills me with wonder. That's what Tiru took advantage of. She kept amazing me all the time. But wasn't Aunt Tiru younger than you? Of course she was, by a full year at least. But she was wise beyond her years, I could never catch up with her. She ruled over me as though I was a body and I could only stare open-mouthed at everything she did. Word meaning. Sighed, a long deep breath expressing sorrow or relief. Charm, the power of attracting and arousing love or admiration. Simpleton, a stupid person. Stare, to gaze fixedly with eyes wide open. What fun! Here is Grandpa recalling his childhood. What fun indeed! She worked me up into a state with a story about a king's 7-mansioned palace. I never found out where it was, she alone knew the secret. I asked my teacher about it, but he only laughed and tweaked my ears. I would often plead with Aunt Tiru, tell me where the palace is. She would open her eyes very wide and say, right here in this house. I would gape and say, in this house. Show me where it is. But she always said, you can't see it, unless you know the magic words. Then teach me the magic words, please, I used to beg her. I'll give you that seashell I slice mangoes with. It's forbidden to tell them to anyone, she would reply. Why, what will happen if you tell me? I would ask. But she would only gasp, oh, goodness me. I never found out what would happen if she told me the magic words, but her attitude made me shudder. I decided to follow her secretly. One day when she next went to visit the palace, but she seemed to go only while I was at school. I asked her once why she couldn't go at any other time, but she only said, oh, goodness me, and I was too scared to ask her anymore. She used to give herself great airs when she managed to impress me. Sometimes, when I had just returned from school, she would blurt out, you won't believe what happened today. What was it? I would ask, all excited. And she would reply, she not tell you. I suppose it was best that way. I never got to know what happened, so I could go on dreaming of fantastic things. Word meaning. Secret, kept from the knowledge of others. Twigged, twisted, shudder, to tremble violently, scared, frightened. She would go off to the hurry-scurry fields while I was sleeping. A winged horse grazed in the meadows there, and whisked away anyone who came there up into the clouds. I would clap my hands with joy when I heard this, and say, what fun that must. She had even seen fairies keeping house, and not very far from our home either. She had seen them in the gloom among the thick roots of the old banyan tree, on the east bank of our pond. They lived only on nectar, and she had made friends with them by gathering flowers for them. But she only went to visit their houses when the boys were doing their lessons with Nilkamal, their master, on the south balcony. What would happen if you went at some other time? I would ask her. The fairies would turn into butterflies and fly away, she would tell me. She had many other things in her magic bag, but it was that unseen palace that really fascinated me. Just think, a mysterious palace tucked away in our very own house, perhaps right next to my own bedroom, only I could never catch a glimpse of it as I did not know the magic words. I used to often go with Iru to the mango grove, pluck green mangoes for her, even bribe her with my precious seashell. She would peel the mangoes and eat them with their leaves, but every time I asked her about the magic words, back came the reply, "Oh, goodness me." Then Iru got married and went off to her in-laws, and the secret went with her. And I grew too old to go looking for palaces, so I never found the palace after all. Since then, I have seen lots of real palaces from afar, but a palace tucked away near my own house, oh goodness me. Rabindranath Tagore. Word meaning: meadows, pastures, gloom, despair, fascinated, extremely interested, goodness, well-being.
Like, share and subscribe.